Okay, come on and work. There we go. Hi, welcome to Leap Taken. This is Mika here at Leap Taken. I talk about all things witchy, craft related, law of attraction, manifesting, esoteric, and everything else in between. And I lost track of time. I was playing around with some stuff and completely forgot that I was supposed to be sitting here at this point. But I am here now. Let me mute my phone, mute all my notifications, which are distracting and are going off right now. Boom. Hello, this is my witchy review. This is the first witchy review, I believe, for 2024. So welcome. I'm actually wearing my Five Below t-shirt and it just says Cowgirl Era. So yeah, I like the pink, that's all. And it's so warm and it's actually really soft and comfortable, by the way. So if you saw it, yeah, it's actually a really cute shirt. So let's get into the review. So I'm gonna save the book for last. Oh, I got makeup on my hand. I'm gonna save the book for last, but I'm gonna talk about first off my ink goddess items that I got. So the sticker has, because they put the Rose of Jericho in the with the sticker, so it's kind of dirty. But moving on, this is the sticker sheet. It's just one sheet. Now, I went to go put the links in the description, and they're sold out. I got them on clearance. But this is a Cottage Witch sticker set, so I'm going to be using these in my planning and Book of Shadows, grimoires, and stuff like that. But I just like the imagery. I thought it was really cute. So using this. And then I got a Rose of Jericho. So I'm actually going to be doing something today, but this is it. It's the Rose of Jericho. I'm going to put this in some water. I had every intention. Hey, Ken Gladden and Gemstones. Hey, I'm good. I'm doing well. Thank you. Happy. Is it too late to say Happy New Year? I think you have until the 15th to stop telling people Happy New Year, but Happy New Year. But yeah, the Rose of Jericho. So this is my first time buying this. I've never purchased this before. This is making a mess. This is my first time purchasing this. So I have to get a bowl. I have one actually. I know I want to use, and you bring it back to life, and then you can use the water for like mana, or use the water as like your sacred type water, like you would moon water. You use it for anointing things and stuff like that, and for spray. So I'm gonna do that too. So that's Ink Goddess. I have to tell you, I loved Ink Goddess Creations. I love the products that I've purchased from there so far. I've purchased stickers in person. I met Morgan. She's the owner of Ink Goddess. I met her in person at the a tarot convention I went to in Tucson. I'm in Arizona, so it was a quick drive. It was just like maybe less than 2 hours away. Um, she's a really nice person. I loved her energy, and I just kept going to their little booth area at the convention, and I pretty much only purchased from her. I loved all her stuff. It's nice. It's nice and it's affordable. Um, the boxes, I got her December subscription box, and it had like the witch bells and the hot chocolate and a little card. It's all these goodies and gemstones and stuff like that. So gemstones, it had gemstones in a little package of it, and I really like. I think they have quality products, so I really like her stuff. I plan on purchasing more, so you'll be seeing more stuff. So if you were curious about some of the items that are on a website, I'm gonna be purchasing stuff. So I realized I left the other thing over here on my shelf. Let me grab it. Yeah. So this is a cover from the Daily Grind. Um, Link is also in the description. So the Daily Grind I use, that's for my goals planner. I'm looking because I'm like, where did I put it? Over here. Because I'm organized. I straightened up my room, so I put everything back. So this is my Daily Grind planner. So this is the Christmas themed covers. So these are just, the disc, and it's so cute, and I love this, but I got this late in December. So as much as I love this, I feel like I'm ready to be done, because it's very, very Christmas themed. It's like gift ideas. The dividers are Really cute Christmas theme. And I love this, by the way. And this is going to be great next year. Next year. But for now, I am ready to move on to something else. Like, this is like a movie, must watch list for holidays. So I'm going to take this and use it on here. So here's the cover. This is brand new because they've only had seasonal covers. So I love that it opens and closes like that. And then I'll just pop the cover on, onto the disc. This is the inside, but it's quilted. It's a nice material. It comes with these stickers as well for the divider pages and whatever else. Oop. Here's the back. And it's kind of like, it's really nice. Thinking you could use it next year. Right, for the cover, definitely. Oh, I'm definitely using it next year. I'm not going to say it's expensive, but her stuff is not cheap. I'm not going to lie. If you go look on the website, you see it's not cheap. Like this cover with the dividers is like $47. And I bought a bundle, so I didn't just buy this. And I'll get to the other thing that came in a bundle. It comes with these divider pages, and these are plastic, like a vinyl plastic or something. A new era of me. I love the pink. Y'all know I love pink, so this makes sense. Small steps every day. Be bold enough to dream and brave enough to try. I like that. And then middle note, take the risk. I wish it said take the leap. Don't let the fear of the unknown stop you from progressing. I like these messages. And those stickers that I was showing are for the tabs up here. So you have the month and all that sort of stuff. And they come off pretty easy too. So I'm going to be setting this up this weekend so I can use this. I love this. Let me tell you the advantage of why you can you see how she has these little, the little metal things on the corners. This is perfect. This keeps it, because this is where it would get messed up. This keeps the integrity of the planner covers. They're really thick too. You see, they're really thick. And look at this. Look how much, that's so nice. It's a quality product. I like it. I like it a lot. So I'm definitely using that next year. But in the bundle, and also in the bundle, it came with the guts of the planner, the blank pages. So I got that too. But that's for the next 4 months. I'm already working on the new one I got, so I'm at month 1 of the 4 months. It's a 4-month planner, by the way. She came out with this about a year ago. I was late to the party. Because I wasn't sure. I already have the goals planner. I feel like I do my own manifesting and my witchy way of doing things. Why am I air quoting my witchy way of doing things? But she went to school for architecture design or something like that, supposedly. So that was kind of the blueprint, that sort of thing. That was kind of her thinking. But this is a workbook. She tells you, she explains it. The dedication that she wrote to her husband on this almost made me cry because it's so sweet. But she tells you it opens like this. And she says this workbook, and she goes on to explain on how to use it. This is not a journal. This is not a planner. This is not a book. This is a workbook. And she breaks it down. So the table of contents. Chapter 1, where are you really? Let's get honest about what your life currently looks like and what could be better. So the purposes of this is to create your dream life. It's not a lot of woo-woo stuff in here, but I think she teeters, in my opinion. She teeters kind of a little bit of new age. So that's why I can get into it. There's nothing religious in here because I wouldn't have purchased it. Chapter 2, who are you really? Discover your key personality traits that make you who you are. Chapter 3, what do you value most? Discover what truly fuels you or fills your cup. And the font, I would say, all right, look at the font. Do you see underneath the second line? Do you see how that's hard to read? I'm gonna just hold it here. Can you see what I'm saying? That's hard to read. That would be my issue. And that font is used throughout here. And maybe it's just my old eyes. I don't know. But I'm having a hard time. And I left my readers by my bed. I use my readers now because I'm struggling. What do you really want? What drives you the most? What is draining you? How can you reset? Where is your time going? What needs to change? And what is the game plan? So, those are the 10 chapters, and there's a lot to this. It's front and back. There is a lot to this book. Um, I'm just gonna give a flip through. Like it's a lot. So I plan on starting this now. Once you purchase her planner or this book, this workbook, you get invited, or you can join the accountability group on Facebook, which I have joined. I don't talk about leap taken or anything over there because that's not my space. But I'm in there for the accountability group. People are like really doing all kinds of stuff with their life because of these products. It really is inspiring to see that. What do you value most? That sort of stuff. So there's a lot of imagery. I don't know. I'm really excited to try. But in the accountability group on Facebook, you have to like use your order number to get in. Not only people who have purchased these particular products, the Daily Grind or this thing, have been able to get in. So I know if you buy it, she says she's doing a thing where she's gonna walk through, like I think up to chapter 5 or something. She said by the 15th of this month or something. She's gonna do like a live or something where she's gonna just go through the workbook with you and like basically your coach basically as you fill it out. She's going to be right there talking it out and kind of explaining a little bit about each prompt, or I guess I don't know, I haven't seen it yet, but I'm looking forward to that, kind of just like a read through and like, okay, so what are you going to fill in, and she's going to fill it out, that sort of stuff. So I like this. I think this is I'm hoping, I haven't done it yet, but I would like this to be a tool that I use to help with manifesting, to help with the magic, the spells that I cast, because I do have a dream life in the works that I'm working on. I feel like I'm already living part of it, and I'm manifesting other things, other attributes to my life. I recently had the realization, not recently, but I've been making a point to take stock right now on the fact that I am living my dream life, basically. And I've realized once you manifest something you really want, you start to see how maybe you can think bigger. You can dream a little bit bigger. So now I'm starting to think bigger. Like, I love my home. Okay, I'm an honest, vulnerable moment here. I love where I live. I scripted about this place. I've talked about this before. The room that I'm sitting in right now, like, not exactly, I didn't script all of this, but like my kitchen, the main areas, I was thinking about that sort of stuff. But this particular room, when I talked about just high level walking in and having the things that I wanted, and having basically my craft room with my craft supplies, all my planners and stickers and scrap paper and my herbs and oils and crystals and this cool imagery and all that sort of stuff. I wanted to see that, and I have it, and I love it, and I love this. However, there's a part of me is like, well, what if, I don't want to say a bigger house, because that's not quite it. Like, I like the idea of just a pool. A pool, more space to practice gardening. I have a covered porch. I wanted that, and I have it. So I have my perfect little cottage, but like an in-ground pool, and just another space for visitors. When people come, another bedroom, basically, for that purpose. That would be nice. Maybe another living space as well, for like to sort of display some of the niche things that I collect, and like my daughter's an adult, but we live together, that she collects. It's Gilmore Girls over here. That's how I live. It's the Gilmore Girls. Just envision that's what's happening here. Without the shift in character that Rory did when she got older, because my daughter did the college thing. Like she's good. She didn't like switch up. Anyway, my daughter explains. She's like, oh, the best way to explain when she tells somebody like her living situation is like, we're the Gilmore Girls. Just think like that. Anyway, but yeah, we both are like heavily into certain genres of music, K-pop, and she's a collector on another scale, and it would be really cool like to have a room where it's like all the posters and the merch and concert merch and all that stuff is displayed, and get the lighting just right, and you kind of go up there. I'm envisioning a space like you can sit, and there's some chairs. You listen to music up there, watch videos. There's another TV, so I guess a family room. um, so yeah, and then the living room. I guess the formal living room or whatever in this space that I'm creating in my mind. I was like, I read a lot. Y'all know this, so like just shelves of books, like all the way up to the ceiling. Very dark academia vibes. Comfortable chairs, maybe a love seat. Still TV because we're TV. It's not that we watch TV. Well, I do, but I like. I'm from a different era. I like a TV in every room. Sorry, I just do. If I could have it, even if I'm watching just YouTube on there, I like a TV in every room. It doesn't have to be on all the time, but I grew up that way, and I like that. I go to sleep with the TV on. I set the timer. It's how I go to sleep. It lulls me to sleep. I also think that has to do with the fact that I grew up mostly as an only child, and I kind of like having like the like comfort shows on before I go to sleep. It's a comfort thing. Um, I know that probably has something to do with it, but anyway. But yeah, like having noise. I told my son, who's in the military, lives alone in his apartment, um, in another state, and he was like, he's like, it's so quiet sometimes because I came to visit last year, and he was like, one, you're trying to say I'm loud, maybe I am, but anyway, it's like it's so quiet after you left. Like that's the first thing I noticed. So once you went to the airport, and like I was sitting here, it's like, dang, it's quiet because I was in his house and I had the TV on. I'm on the phone. I got the iPad going. I'm watching something. I'm in the kitchen. I'm loud. I realize that now, but I'm living. I like noise. I don't like too quiet all the time. So actually, most of the time I don't. That's just who I am. Again, I think it has something to do that I grew up the way I did most of my life as an only child. So I think that's why I don't know what it's like to have a lot of people and siblings and all that sort of stuff. And I didn't have pets either. So I told him, I was like, you know what you need to do? Turn a TV on, and just like, you don't have to have it loud, but just have the volume, like put on like a sitcom or something like that. And it's just like something that doesn't really take your attention. I said, but have that on in the background, like when you're in the kitchen or something like that. Just do that. And he was like, okay, he's Gen Z. That's weird to him because for him, the TV is for video games. He doesn't watch TV. I don't know. Anyway, how did I get on this tangent? But anyway, my dream. So, something I've been kind of playing with the idea of, and I haven't like really fully scripted. I'm really just sharing with you guys kind of just my preliminary thoughts on this. But yeah, maybe a bigger living space. So we'll see. Here's the crux. I really like where I live now. I'm very comfortable. I'm wanting to paint. I want to, if in my heart of hearts, what I would like is to be able to develop some sort of supernatural skill to grow my current home. Like a room is developed, and that's not going to happen. That's what I want. I think I would like to add maybe another story to this house. That's also not possible, but yeah, I wish the house could grow like a magical house that grows extra rooms based on your desires and your needs. And so far, I don't know if that's a skill that I can grow in this lifetime, in this particular dimension, maybe in another one, but apparently not in this one. And if y'all have, you know, hints on how to make a magical house in the sense that it grows, you can expand your house magically, let me know. I'd love that. I'd love to know that. What I want most is to be close to nature so I can step out of my house into the green. Oh my God, that part too. Okay, let's talk about that. I am jelly for real, when I see Sometimes I'll see YouTube specifically when, or any social media platform where somebody's like walk out in their backyard, and it's not like grand. I'm not talking about somebody's like who's really rich, but like they just happen to have access to nature. Um, and they're like, oh yeah, I went into the woods and the back of my house, and I'm like, you have woods in the back of your house? In my case, I wouldn't have woods, but even if I had some land here in Arizona, it's gonna be desert like, but that's okay. It depends on where I live. Like if I go further north and like I'm in Sedona, I could have trees and rocky landscape and stuff like that. And that has its own beauty and just that nature. I would love that. And when I see other people just like walk outside and it's right there, I love that for them. Once upon a time, I really wanted and desired to like live that close to water, to a body of water, the ocean specifically. And I never lived where I could walk outside. I didn't have oceanfront property when I lived in Florida. But I did. The closest I lived was 10 minutes by car. And that was living. I lived in Naples, Florida. Naples, Florida is a very expensive place to live. I was renting, it was a townhouse. Couldn't at the time. We were in a townhouse. We were there for a year tops. It wasn't even that long. But the I felt like I was living in luxury because it's a lot of that's money, a lot of big money out there. Um, but I would, and it's like their vacation spot. I didn't know all this when I first moved there. We moved there because at the time, the spouse's job. So that was why we moved there. But little did I know where I was moving into. And living 10 minutes by car, like you get in a car, I would time it, get in a car, and I was like, 10 minutes, I'm gonna be at the beach. You park the car, like 10 minutes to park, and I would park like right by the entrance where you can walk in. There was always metered parking, but there was like a parking garage right there, and you just go, and I would walk over there. Oh my God, I love that. I love that. And it was on the Gulf. Naples is the Gulf side of Florida, so you get to see the sunsets. I get to see that here because I'm on the West Coast. But it was so beautiful. It was, and the beaches are clean over there too. That kind of felt like my little backyard. Like the path that leads to wood. Oh, leads to wooded maybe or somewhere high up. Yeah, that would be beautiful. Now, in my dreams and fantasies, my heart just is just swelling with this. In practicality, let me tell you why I don't think I really can truly manifest that. Things live out there. Here in Arizona, there are things that I don't really want to encounter with. For instance, we have this animal here that I've never known existed until I moved to this state. Never saw it, don't know anything about it. People living in Tucson deal with this thing called a javelina, J A Javeno. I don't know. I'm not probably saying it wrong, but it's called a javelina. See, I don't even know how this is an animal I never even knew existed until I came here. Long story short, they look like giant rodents. It kind of looks like something larger in the rat family. And I'm gonna just tell you right now, I'm not that person. I'm not that person. They're not in my neighborhood, gratefully, but I know down in Tucson, like certain areas, they have issues with them. The other thing are coyotes. That's a real thing. Coyotes here are something. If you're closer to the mountains, which I would want in my heart of hearts to have mountain views and also to have access. Coyotes are a real thing. Um, Scorpions also are something that I have to be very mindful living out in more of a, you know, less populated area. Scorpions would become my reality. Um, it's something I haven't seen here. This is newer-ish construction, and I know that I was told, well, the land's been disturbed, so if there were and snakes are the other thing. Yes, you wouldn't like that. Snakes are a real thing here. Snakes, scorpions, spiders that I don't understand or know. and probably more animals I haven't discovered yet because I just don't know about them. Like I didn't know about the javelina thing, and they exist. They mess with people's trash, by the way. Come to find out. Um, and I know in Tucson, I've read a post where somebody was talking about like the desert rats um, that chew the wiring. Like if your car is parked out, they'll chew through wiring. I just don't want any of that in my life. Let's just start there. Like I'm not that girl. I'm not made for that kind of thing. First off, I would take it personal. I'm just not that person. So those things that live there, I don't want to hurt anything. I'm not going to hunt. I'm not a hunting type of person. I live and let live. I'm that kind of witch. You just can't live with me. We can't live together. And if I'm in their environment, technically we live together. So that is my issue. So I'm kind of cool with suburbia. I go back and forth about this because I love the idea of land. And I was like, you know what? I would get used to it. I'm a grown up. I would just get used to it. No, but I also know who I am, and I know I don't want to get used to it. Scorpions are terrifying. So because the longer we're here, these homes, I think they built these in like 2018, 19-ish. So we're now in 2024. So the land isn't as disturbed as much, as getting settled. So I'm thinking if things are going to start coming around, they'll be starting to come around like snakes and scorpions. So by my door, we have to take our shoes off. And I bought a shoe rack that lifts up off the, the floor so that like if you have your shoes, I'm mindful of that because it's right by the door and something could come crawling in. I'm aware of that when I go outside. If I'm like sitting outside, I have some lounge chairs out back in my little wide-ish patio space. Um, I'm mindful of that. Like if I'm sitting out there to like kind of look around, make sure I don't see anything. Now spiders are real. They're here. I've seen spiders I've never seen in my life here out back, like neon white. I don't even know what that is. I don't know if it's poisonous. I've seen larger spiders as well. I don't know. It is. I try not to think too hard about it. I'm gonna just say that. So let me tell you what I do before I go sit outside. Like if I'm gonna sit outside, I'm not gonna do it now because it's cold. But in the summertime, I take the hose and I spray everything because it's so dry here. It's gonna evaporate in minutes. It doesn't matter. It's like I do this prior to. I know I'm gonna be sitting outside, so I just start spraying everything with the hose, and I put it on like the pressure wash setting with the little thing, and I'm just spraying all the ground and everything around. And then I just wait like maybe an hour or so before I'm about to sit outside, and then I go sit outside and I put the towel up. But it takes me a moment to calm down because I am thinking about all the different spiders and stuff around. But I eventually calm down and I can chill and sit out there. I play music. That is something I do to test myself as well because I don't like being afraid. Actually, being afraid makes me angry. I am such an Aries. Please know that. Like the idea of being afraid is like I'm like, who am I gonna fight? Fear? Yes, that's me. I'm out here mad because I'm afraid. So I don't want to be afraid. So I force myself to stay in a situation so I'm not afraid. Yeah, that's me. There aren't any dangers that are really in the UK. Oh, okay. Well, that's good. Well, here's the trade-off of living here versus Florida. Florida does have their own set of snakes and insects that I'm really not comfortable with. They have insects that feel like alien as well. They have all a variety. Don't love that. Living there. We have lizards here, and I have seen some, but it's not that bad. But Florida is different with the insects. Like I don't know what you gonna get bit by a mosquito. What variation mosquito is it? What I don't know. I don't like it there. There are lots of spiders, etc., but nothing to worry about. Yeah, I don't even know if it's something to worry about here. I don't even know. That's the thing about it. I don't know what I'm dealing with half the time. I probably need to educate myself more, but where do you start? What are the poisonous spiders and snakes of Arizona? Now, okay, that's Arizona, that's the state, but specifically in the Phoenix metro, like what's here trying to kill me? Anyway, I know my best out here. But I say all this to say, yeah, the idea of a bigger space. or just not, I don't want to say bigger space because I don't really want a bigger space. I just want these additional rooms, I guess. But I guess that means a bigger space, a bigger yard for gardening, mountain views. I don't have to be right there at the mountain because that's where the coyote's gonna come. Because if I decide to get any sort of pets or something, well, a dog, not pets. Let me be careful. A dog, um, especially if they're a smaller dog. Well, now we have a new problem. I could never let the dog like go outside, out back or something like that alone because coyotes. Um, and that's a real thing here. Like if you have small pets, coyotes will come get them. That was actually when I first moved here in 2019. That was an issue in like I think it was North Phoenix. They were having that problem. I'm watching news. I was like, I'm sorry, what? People with small dogs and cats, like they had to be careful because of the coyotes. I, and that was in Phoenix proper, like in the city of Phoenix. Let's talk about this book. This spells disaster. This is the first queer. I'm a romance love type girl. I love that like witchy paranormal romance. That is the genre of choice for me. If not, add in a mystery on top of it, and you got me. Like I'm all in. Not necessarily a mystery, but this was definitely a paranormal romance. Queer edition. I've never read a queer like modern. I don't think I had to think about this. Have I? I don't think I've ever read anything like this. So this was my first. I'm no longer a queer romance novel, witchy, paranormal romance queer virgin. So let me tell you what this book is about. Potion maker and self-proclaimed messy witch Morgan Greenwood is sure she was hexed at birth. Not only did she drunkenly offer to fake date the woman of her dreams during the biennial New England Witches Trust Festival, but Rory Sandler, spellcasting champion and brilliant elemental witch, for reasons known only to the goddesses, accepted. It's like every good luck spell Morgan ever cast came through at once, and it doesn't take a crystal ball to predict the charade will end with a broken heart. Or is the magic between them real? As Morgan and Rory prepare to fool everyone at the festival, their relationship starts to feel a lot less fake, right until Morgan realizes she might have screwed up the common relaxation potion she made for Rory and given her a love potion instead, breaking one of the most sacred Witch Council laws. To fulfill her promise to Rory, Morgan must somehow keep playing pretend while under the watchful eyes of Rory's family and legion of fans. But to break the love potion, she'll have to prove how incompatible she and Rory really are. For a screw up like her, ruining their relationship should be easy, except every day Morgan is becoming more bewitched by Rory herself. So, I'm going to just give a couple spoilers and I'm going to tell you a couple different things. I was really curious to how they were going to handle the spicy scenes. I've never read queer romance before. I was genuinely curious. Like, this was going in realms I've never been in, and I just wanted to know what they were going to write. So, one, I got that information. So, there's that. Two, I really think there were parts in the book that were just slow. And the self deprecating behavior of Morgan Greenwood. Morgan, oh God. Now these characters in their early 20s. So I was giving them grace. But it was getting on my last nerve. Okay. And I kept saying, well, think about when you were in your 20s. And I was able to put myself there. And I remembered a couple things about me in my 20s. If you were someone in my life, romantic relationship or not, if you constantly talked down on yourself, I actually have more grace for somebody like that today. Then actually I had none. I didn't like get away from me talking like that was actually I was worse then. I had no patience for people who um were constantly like low confidence, no self esteem. I really didn't have time for you. If you were like trying to be my friend and you don't believe I like you, it's hard for you to believe that I like you or that anybody likes you, whether for romance or not. Like that was weird to me. and I struggle with that. This Morgan character, she it was testing my patience reading this book for that purpose. It's well written. I thought there were times where they could have sped it up a little bit more. So the pacing, like there was a lot of filler of her just like wallowing and just saying like the most hateful things about herself. She had a situation with an ex girlfriend who said some really mean things to her and basically called her an underachiever. And she internalized that and stayed with it. And now that's something that can happen, especially in your early 20s, early to mid 20s. I mean, that can happen now. But I understand that and I do, but I was like, it gets to the end of the book, spoiler, and like, okay, they're kind of at this pivotal moment of like, oh, I accidentally gave you a love potion, and she's crying, and she's like, she slid down to the floor, and she's just feeling like the worst thing ever. And it, first of all, it was an accident, so why are you acting this way? It was an accident. You repeatedly said it was an accident, but it tapped into her lack of confidence. She's a potion maker, so she also felt like she wasn't the greatest, because she's only ever tweaked potions. She's never actually created something brand new. So there was some stuff about that, the underachiever part. I just, I struggle with that part. That was something I struggle with. And then what made me feel better at the very end when they're in this pivotal moment, and it's like, wait, I never even took the potion. Like we go through this whole book. She was like, "You made this," and the Rory, the person. This is Rory, and this is Morgan. Apparently, because the way they describe it, she has short hair. And I remember she was like, I'm mad at you because you brought on all this drama for nothing." And I was like, great. I'm glad this character is addressing it. I'm glad she's calling her out on the BS. Like, you're being stupid basically for no reason. Why didn't you just ask me? Why did you assume I took the potion, the relaxation potion you gave me? And me, the reader, is realizing, did you ever see? You never watched her take it. Do you know she took it? Do you know how much she took? Plot twist at the end. Anyway, I'm giving it away, but it's like you never even confirm. And she calls her out on it. She's like, communication is a problem for you. Like, why didn't you communicate to me? Why didn't you ask me? So it was very modern in that sense. Like, duh, ask me questions. So she was just, and that's what she told her. Why are you so quick to believe the worst about yourself? And that struck a chord with me because being around people in my life is not like one person. There were certain people that have been in my life over the years who I remember saying differently. I would say, why are you so quick to believe the worst about me? Why are you, what is it? And I remember asking, like, what is it about me that makes you think I would do this bad thing or this evil thing or this mean thing? Why do you think I would say this about you? Or why do you think I would do this thing to you? And I remember there are certain people in my life that I've asked that question to on more than one occasion. But at no point did I ever believe that about myself. People have said things and they literally try to put stuff on me. I didn't know the word at the time was they were projecting on me. Didn't know that yet because I'm younger. I didn't know. I didn't know this. If you don't know, you don't know. I don't know this language. I know that now. But at the time, I just couldn't understand why they would believe the worst about me. Reading this, I'm thinking, wait, so this is a character that actually believed this stuff about herself. About herself, she internalized it. Um, I've not, and I mean, I've had people in my life try to convince me I had low self esteem, and I was like, nah, I don't have. I mean, I have some. As most people, you could be critical of yourself, but I don't have low self esteem. I've never had it. Um, Men, it was men, men, women. No women in my life ever tried to do that. It was only men who tried to convince me that. I was like, no, I'm pretty confident person. I was like, actually, I'm holding back because people have said I was the opposite of that in the past. So I'm actually holding back. I don't have confidence issues at all. But reading this kind of, I like a book that triggers like a memory or a thought or just something about myself. So yes, for that. The spicy scenes were interesting. I was like, what? They really halfway through the book, and they finally had like almost a halfway through the book, quarter way through the book, there's like a makeout session, and it's, you know, petting, kissing, or whatever, and it's more about um they're more, the author's more talking about their desire and like, oh my god, is this about to happen, is this happening, is this happening, and then there's an interruption, and then there's nothing for the rest of the book. So I kind of like that pacing myself, when I'm writing. I don't like, well, I'm not writing like smut novels, so I mean, maybe one day, but right now that's not my jam. So I don't need that up front. I don't need that level of spice, you know, in the beginning, the middle, and the end. Like I like a plot. I don't just want to read porn, basically. Um, it was sweet though. As much as I found the Morgan Greenwood character incredibly annoying because of her self-esteem issues and her lack of confidence in herself, she actually was funny at times, and yeah. And I like that she thought this other character was just so unapproachable, and she thought she was just so much, you know, on this. She put her on a certain level, and the more she got to know her, she knew she had her own issues and her own problems, and you know, about herself. And so that was, it was sweet. It was very sweet. I would recommend it. Minus nothing, you know, it's not like the best piece of literature out there, but it was very sweet. And when I was, one thing I was curious about, because like I said, it's my first paranormal romance fiction in the queer category. I was curious. I just read it, and I was curious, like, how is this? How do we do the buildup of the love, or you know, the flirtation and all that stuff with these characters? And it was well executed from what I understand. And I had the same buildup I had in a heterosexual situation. I had that with this. Like, I'm rooting for them by the end too. I'm like, yes, she loves you back. Oh my god, I'm getting the feels. I'm getting excited. Um, in the same way I would with anything else. So that was really cool. And yeah, the flirt scenes, I was into it, just, you know, like I am with the other books. The anticipation was building, so that part was really nicely done. And the magic parts of it, this is in this world, they can move things, you know, telekinesis, they can manipulate elementals. Rory is an elemental witch, so she can, you know, make water move and stuff like that. um was it believable for the most part? Because I look for that. If I'm reading it, I need to be able to see it. I need to believe this is something that can really happen. And yeah, I was right there with it. I don't feel like it was over the top in a way where it was unbelievable. Um, there's no one's like casting spells too much. I think there was something, but for the most part, there was nothing where it's like, you know, oh, you can take some spells from this and maybe make them your own. It wasn't that type of book. It was more like they were, like I said, it was more like the potion making. She talked about some herbs, and how like her love potion, the thing that made, instead of a relaxation potion and made it a love potion, is because she accidentally put yarrow in it instead of something else. And it, not a whole lot of other explanation about that, but that was kind of part of it. She was trying to create this antidote to the love potion, an antidote potion to a love potion. Anyway, it was cute. It was sweet. It was cute. And I did enjoy reading the book overall. I really did. It was sweet. I like that the supporting, like her mother and her grandmother were in the book as well. Morgan Greenwood's. And I love the idea that her grandmother was kind of like a pistol. She was, you know, she would kind of say whatever she wanted. And they ran this store where they sold what is called Bed Bath and Broom. That's the name of the store. So I definitely like that. And I was seeing the store in my mind's eye as they described it. And they did have mundane people working there at the store. Um, in this world, you keep a low profile as a witch, but they know they exist. But I got the feeling they know they exist kind of like they know we exist. Us witches, except in this world, you know, they don't go into a lot of details, but like they know. Does that make sense? So but at the same time, the witch council forbids them from like doing too much because they know the mundane folk might be okay with some things, but if they think you're too powerful, they'll burn you at the stake. So they're just trying to keep that from happening again. So that's why they have rules like don't you know do love potions, don't use love potions. Basically anything that takes away someone's will, that's against the witch rules, council's rules, their laws. Basically, you're not allowed to do that. Um, so that's sweet. That was sweet. So yeah, I enjoyed the book. I really did. So one of my goals that I have in my goals planner is to read at least 2 books a week. Um, First I said one, but I mean like, so I'm thinking like a fiction book and a nonfiction book. One, I talk about books here, but I can read that fast, and that's why I went and bought my readers so that I would be able to read them. Because on my Kindle, I'm like power reading through. I can read so quickly, but on a regular book, I'm like fighting for my life. So, and I usually read at night, so I have my readers on, and I put them further. You got to wear them like at the tip of your nose, because that's the proper way to read them. And I'm like reading, and I was like, oh, this is perfect. And I was able to read like, I want to think it was earlier this week. I think I read almost half the book in one night because I put the readers on. So that's been my downfall, not being able to see properly this whole time. I could have been reading a lot more. So yeah, minimum 2 books a week is something I want to do. So I've made that possible. So um I'll have more stuff to talk about then because of that. And I can read too. Actually, I am capable of it's like watching TV to me. And I have 2 favorite shows. So on this night, I read this book, and this one, I read this story. They don't overlap or anything. So I can read 2 fiction books at once. So to recap, I got my Cottage Witch sticker set. Now, I didn't know exactly what this was going to look like. I just looked at it on the website, but it's just this one sheet. This was like $2, $3. I forgot how much it was, but unfortunately it's sold out. But I love the imagery. I think it's really cute. I got my Rose of Jericho. Ooh. From Ink Goddess Creations. I absolutely love their products. I really do. I think they have quality products, and like I said, they're affordable price. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get the subscription box for next month, upcoming month. It's something to do with they give hints about what the contents of the box will be, or the theme. It has to do with, I think, like which media or something like that. So like movies and books or something like that. So yeah, I'm gonna get that. That's for February. And then I also got the Daily Grind planner cover, which they've never created anything like this. They've only had, these are like regular everyday covers. They've only ever had holiday theme type covers. People are trying to call me. You gotta stop. All right, there we go. Anyway, they've only ever had like holiday themed covers. They've never had stuff like this. And by the way, the cover with the quilted is based on, let me open this up. This is the way the planner looks at the inside. So they've made a cover to mimic that. See, with the boxes and so yeah, the check boxes and so forth. So I think that's really cute. And the divider pages come with, and they call it the Lux line. And I do, it is giving like Lux, and this like plastic vinyl. Everybody's calling me at once. When that happens, I don't know if like when I'm doing something like this and I'm busy and I have multiple people trying to call me, always my mom, is it just me? Do you think like the worst thing is happening right now? I'm like, oh my God, something horrible's happening. They keep trying to call me. Or am I just paranoid? I don't know. When it's like friends and family and they all live in the same area, I'm like, something horrible is happening. And I'll call them. They're like, oh no, they just happen to call at the same time. They didn't want nothing. Who's to say? The other thing is my Dream Life Blueprint. So I'm really excited to start. I'm starting this weekend filling this out and answering the questions, the prompts in the workbook. Um, I'm really happy about this because, like I said, I am working on my own dream life manifestation goals. Technically shared some of that, the witchy stuff, on the vision board live that I did January 1st. I'm looking over at it right now. I just want to manifest certain things within my practice. And then there's my vision board book that I did for the Witch's New Year, and that's still working. Um, and then I just I think this will be good for practical purposes, taking those goals and taking those dreams and visions and putting them into some sort of practical sense. So I've got the witchy part covered. Maybe it's time to bring in some mundane stuff to execute and get on the path of alignment to making these things happen. So what my intentions are to kind of really look at my board, pull out my witch's New Year vision board book, which is an old happy planner notebook, and I've basically set up that up for each like several pages. Like, so I have a travel page on place I want to travel, and uh, my vision for leap taken, my vision as a writer, and all that sort of stuff. So I'm gonna look at those things and take a good look at that and kind of just sit with that and my list of other things that I'm working on that I started working on during my Yule ritual. I created another list of things which kind of overlap stuff I've already want to do, and I'm gonna kind of sit with that, and then I'm gonna start this. And I want things to happen. I don't. Yeah, I want to make things happen. That's the best way to explain it. So I'm willing to do the mundane work behind it to start executing some of this stuff. And I hope this helps me with some of my mundane obstacles. Like, you know, am I being distracted with other things that aren't really beneficial to me? Do I need to re envision like how I do my days? Is it too much social media? Probably. Is it too much social media? Is it too much time? Like, do I need to get more organized about my days? And if so, I think I'm doing a good job for the most part, or I think I'm doing what is my best. But am I? Is there something else? And I'm hoping the prompts in the workbook might have like make me think about something differently. So I'm not looking for the book itself to change me. I'm hoping to be inspired by the journal prompts and the questions and stuff like that to start thinking about things differently. And I believe the tools that are put into my path are also magical. Because if I put this energy out that I want these things to happen, and then I'm finally in a position that I could buy something like this, maybe this is the step to make these other things happen, right? So don't turn your nose up at mundane goals. So if we're early in the year, you have a vision board set up, and you're manifesting your things and you're doing spell work, don't shy away from mundane tools to execute those things into your reality. I mean, it's kind of like in that accountability group on Facebook for the Dream Life Blueprint and the Daily Grind Planner. One story that stuck out to me was this woman who said, I wanted to work at Disney. She didn't live in Florida, from my understanding. So this woman said she wanted to work at Disney, and how she had bought the Daily Grind Planner, and I think the Dream Life Blueprint. I'm not sure, but I know she got the planner. And there were some things that she had to make happen. First of all, it's a job, so there's certain things I think she needed to get trained on or something like that, or schooling or something. Um, and she did that. She had the goal that she wanted to work at Disney, though. That was the goal. But there were things she had to put in place first. And I think she said it had been a year, and she did. And she showed like her badge. She works at Disney now. So I think she like moved there, is moving there, or has moved there. And that's like a big life change. And I just got the warm, fuzzy feelings when I saw that because, she's had a goal. She had to do some steps to make this goal become a reality. And even in magic, as witches, as practitioners, or someone who's wielding magic, yeah, you cast spells. But I always talk about, what is your goal? What is your plan for alignment? So I'm taught me, let's talk about this little vision that I'm still dreaming up. I haven't put into practice yet. I haven't done anything. But let's say I do this house thing. I said I want a pool. I would like another living area to display all these cool merchandise and all this stuff. And I'm thinking is, I have this idea in my head of what it would look like. Kind of like, you ever see like uh I've had friends, you go into their house and they have like a bonus room, and like the man of the house has it, and he's got like all his sports memorabilia up. It's like all these sports team stuff, and like that, except K-pop, pop culture stuff. Um, so how, the pool, that and all this sort of stuff, like how, let's say I really want to pull the trigger and I'm start casting spells for this, and I do road opener work for it. So what do you do? What would I do to be in alignment with that? Um, well, I'll start looking for places. I'll go on Zillow and I'll start shopping for places. I'll start looking to see, what does that look like? Are there places that look like what I'm envisioning? So that's the first thing, action I would do. I would start going to Zillow and I just start looking. And I'd start favoriting places as well. And even if they're like multi-million dollar houses, that's not the issue. We're just going to look. But no, I would look and I would start. That would be the first step of alignment, is to actually go look at places. Um, if, let's say, I find some places, more than one, that suit what I want, but I'm not in a position to move right now. Well, then I start to think, I've done this before, by the way. This particular thing, I've done this before, but I start to think to myself, well, what's the gap from where I'm at right now to being in what I think I really want? What's this gap? Is it money? Is it credit? Is it money and credit? Is it distance? Is it someplace that's not where I'm at? Is it somewhere in a northern area of Arizona? Is it Sedona versus where I'm at here in the Phoenix area? Like, what's the gap? And I take all that into consideration. So if it's a money thing, on like, that's real expensive. Or at least I think it's expensive. So now I start to change my thoughts on, well, it's expensive based on what your money situation is now. But if you had, just more money, then it wouldn't be expensive. So now I just start thinking, well, what do I need? What can I do to make more money? How do I bring in more money? So then I start doing specific type of spells for like income growth, opportunity, and being willing to take those opportunities. Yeah, so that's where my spells thing comes into play. And I start writing this stuff down in a grimoire, all these different steps. And then I start paying attention to the spell results, and never losing sight of the big goal. And if the issue is, let's say, credit, then I think, well, what do I need to do to get in a position where my credit matches whatever the favorable credit score is in order to qualify for this property? So, well, then I start thinking about that, and I think, okay, what are they looking for? Well, what do I need to do to get to that point? So let's say it's just reducing maybe some of my debt down. Well, then we're back to money spells. So now I'm doing a money spell for, or I'm doing luck spells as well, because maybe it's just a matter of things falling off your credit report, and maybe you need to take a look at that, and that's another spell, another set of spells actually, because it's going to be money spells. Maybe it's a negotiation thing as well. Maybe it's, I could pay some of those a debt off, or old collections or something like that. Maybe they're willing to take like a reduced amount. So there you go. You start, and then I that's how I work that. I work a spell on, luck, and to kind of a sweetening spell. So that's another spell in there. And there's different stages of this. And is there a timing issue? Am I trying to get this done at a certain time? So maybe I want to work a spell that sort of freezes things for me, so that I have time to do things so I can get the house that I really want or something like that. I'm just saying, this is how I approach it. This is the work behind the scenes. Notice I'm talking about doing magic, casting spells, but I might have to call somebody, a collection, and be like, hey, what can we do? This is in the past, years ago. This is something I've actually done. So I'm speaking from experience. But with my situation now, this is just a seedling. I'm still it's just germinating, and I'm still thinking about what I truly would like. Do I want to? Because I got questions for myself. So do I want to stay in this area that I live in now? Remember, I moved to Arizona in 2019. I'm familiar with Scottsdale. It's the more bougie area, richer area. I'm more like in a true burbs where I'm at now. Um, do I want to leave the Phoenix metro area? Or the valley? Do I want to go further up? I know I don't want to go to Tucson. One, they got the javelinas down there. That freaks me out. So I can't. I've decided I can never live in Tucson for this reason. I've seen people TikToks of their home, like them shooting that and showing. Look at these things going rummaging through our trash. I saw more than one video. I'm done. I can never live in Tucson, so that's not an option. So now that we know it's never going to be Tucson, where else in Arizona? Do I want to stay in Arizona? What if I want to move to Vegas? Nevada. It's to me, Nevada looks just like Arizona. So land wise, it's the same, but I know the vibe, the energy is different. But I really like Arizona. Do I want to go to California? What part of California? No, I don't want to move to California. But would I want to move to California? I don't know. So, I think about this sort of stuff. So first we got to talk about locations. So before I could even go any further with casting spells and making something happen, I need to figure out where I would want to live. I think I want to stay in this area, but I've been recently doing some adventuring out and about, and driving around, and I'm discovering other areas here that I never thought about moving to or living in. And now my mind is changing again, so I don't know. So I don't know. I didn't realize if I just kept going further to the east of Phoenix, there's certain areas of Mesa, Arizona, that are beautiful. And oh my gosh, the views, the mountains, and depending on the weather you're having, I've driven out there and I just kept driving and I was like, this looks like something like in a movie or on a picture hanging on somebody's wall. This doesn't even look real. It was like a weird overcast situation, and with the mountains, I was like, in the sun creeping through, it was absolutely stunning, and I got to see that with my own eyes. I couldn't capture it in a picture because it doesn't make any sense. I tried to do that and I was like, this doesn't look like what I'm seeing with my eyes. It's absolutely stunning, and I was like, what about this area? And I haven't even explored west enough to know if I like that. Why am I on this tangent? Anyway, the point is, goals and dreams and manifesting. Put some alignment behind it. Put some real life action behind it if you want it to happen. Cast your spells for sure. Actually, casting spells is alignment as well. But those spells and spells and spells, those other things, you might have to do additional spells, and that's staying in alignment with the bigger goal that you're trying to do, is what I'm trying to say on my tangent. Thank you for listening. All right, but and the other thing, just to recap, was This Spells Disaster, my first queer paranormal romance, and I absolutely adored it. And yes, I will read more because I enjoyed that. I thought it was really sweet, and it was endearing for the most part. Some of the parts of the book, spoiler, some of it is like I said, they kind of drag some parts on. I didn't love that. It's not a lot of that, but it is some they could have kind of chopped that up a little bit and gotten to the next scene. But who am I? But yeah, that's it. I'm gonna go ahead and get on with my Friday. So thanks again for watching. I'm back to regularly posting. After doing the 12 days of Yule challenge, I was a little taxed with that, so I didn't do a live. after that for a while because I needed a minute. It was a lot. But I am back to my normal posting here on YouTube. So thanks for watching. I hope everybody enjoyed the rest of their day. And links are in the description if you like any of this stuff that I went over. And I will be back next Friday. All right, bye.